Hey guys, and welcome to Bosco Sciences. Today's topic is cells and their organelles. The two topics that we're going to cover in today's video is the endosymbiotic theory and the organelles inside the cells. We're going to start off the video by talking about endosymbiotic theory. And the endosymbiotic theory states that eukaryotic cells emerged when mitochondria and chloroplasts took up residence in larger cells billions of years ago. And what you should take away from this is that eukaryotes come from smaller prokaryotes. Some similarities between all cells is that they are all protected by their plasma membrane, contain cytosol, and contain ribosomes, along with DNA. Cytosol is basically the same as cytoplasm, and it contains a semi-fluid substance in which subcellular components are suspended. The main differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes are that prokaryotes don't have nuclei or internal membranes, while eukaryotic cells have organelles and internal membranes. Something else that you should know are that prokaryotes are a lot smaller than eukaryotes, and they are unicellular. And an example of prokaryotes are all bacteria. Another difference is that prokaryotes don't have any internal membranes or nuclear membrane, while eukaryotes contain distinct membrane-bound organelles. The first couple of organelles that are going to be discussed today are the nucleus and nucleolus. The nucleus contains chromosomes wrapped in special proteins, and it is surrounded by a selectively permeable nuclear membrane, which means that not everything can go in, and it only transports what is needed. The nucleolus is located inside the nucleus, and it makes subunits that comprise ribosomes, which make proteins. If you look at the picture on the right, you can see that the nucleolus is in the middle of the nucleus, and the nuclear envelope acts as a membrane surrounding the nucleus. In the cell, there is a system of organelles called the endomembrane system, and it regulates protein traffic and performs metabolic functions. The first organelle in the endomembrane system is the nuclear envelope, and it separates the nuclear contents from the cytoplasm. So basically, it separates the DNA and chromosomes in the nucleus from the outer organelles. The endoplasmic reticulum is a system of channels in a eukaryotic cell, and there are two types of endoplasmic reticulums. The first is the rough ER, and it is studded with ribosomes, which means that it produces proteins. The second is the smooth ER, and it assists in steroid synthesis, stores calcium ions, and it also detoxifies drugs and poisons. The next organelle is the Golgi apparatus, and it lies near the nucleus and consists of flattened membranous sacs stacked next to each other and surrounded by vesicles. They process and package substances produced in the rough ER and secrete the substances to other parts of the cell or to other cell surface for export. The next organelle in the endomembrane system is the lysosome, and it is basically a sac of hydrolytic enzymes that are responsible for intracellular digestion and apoptosis, and what you should know is that they are not found in plant cells. The next organelle in the endomembrane system is the vacuole, and it is basically a membrane-bound structure that is used for storage. In plants, it is larger, and it is used to store water and other minerals. The plasma membrane is very important in the cell, and it is a selectively permeable membrane that regulates what leaves and enters the cell. It consists of a phospholipid bilayer with proteins dispersed throughout. If you don't know what a phospholipid bilayer is, I talked about it in my previous video. Another component of the plasma membrane is cholesterol, and it stabilizes the membrane by increasing fluidity. And integral proteins span the hydrophobic interior of the membrane, so it's basically next to the hydrophobic tails of the phospholipids. Unlike integral proteins, peripheral proteins bind to the surface of the protein, so it is on the outer surface next to the hydrophilic heads. The proteins in the plasma membrane are involved in transport, such as molecules, electrons, and ions, which are carried through channels which manufacture ATP. And it is also involved in enzymatic activity, signal transduction, which basically is a chemical messenger, and it is also involved in cell-to-cell recognition used by glycoproteins. Lastly, proteins in the endomembrane system are involved with cell attachment, and a couple examples of these are desmosomes and gap junctions. The next couple of organelles are called the mitochondria and chloroplasts. Mitochondria is the site of cellular respiration, and it has an outer double membrane and series of inner membranes called cristae. It also has their own DNA. Chloroplasts contain chlorophyll, which absorb light energy and turn it into sugar. It also has a double outer membrane and inner membrane system called thylakoids. Like mitochondria, it has their own DNA. Unlike most organelles, mitochondria and chloroplasts have a double membrane and their own DNA, which suggests that they were free living prokaryotes that support the endosymbiotic theory. The next organelle is the cytoskeleton, and it has two main functions, which is maintaining cell shape and controlling the position of organelles inside the cytoplasm. It is also involved with cytoplasmic streaming, which is the flow of cytoplasm inside the cell, and it also anchors the cell by interacting with extracellular elements. A major component of the cytoskeleton is the microtubule, and it is basically a hollow tube that makes up cilia, flagella, and spindle fibers. Cilia and flagella are motor proteins that move the cell, and spindle fibers are important in mitosis and meiosis because they separate chromosomes during cell replication. That basically wraps up the video, and you could quiz yourself by looking at the chart in the background. Tomorrow's video is going to be on cell transport, and it's really important for the rest of the class, so make sure you watch that, and thanks for watching.